Hi guys, my name is Kuro. I'm the host of the PlayStation Point. I was sick last week. I'm not quite as sick anymore, just a little now. But yeah, I'm back. So we have some news today. We're also recording a day earlier than usual because I have to head out when we normally record this. So hey, I'm sleep deprived. Let's see how this
Sleep
goes.
deprived, half sick.
I'm not half
Cat,
sick.
stop.
Your cat's like, shut the fuck up.
Podcast over.
Well, not half sick. I'm just slightly sick at this point.
hmm
Because I'm still like sneezing and hacking up phlegm, but my voice is back. So I mean,
Yeah, that's the good news about this is that your voice is back.
because I was editing last week's podcast and it was terrible. Like,
I was trying to figure out how to balance the audio between us, but I just stopped caring after like an hour. I was like, whatever.
I didn't even try because it was like, what's the point?
Your volume was so low that
I
it
wasn't even
wouldn't even
showing
cut.
up.
Yeah,
It was just that bad.
the magic of live editing.
Yeah. Alright then, so our first piece of news is not necessarily what I want to talk about, but it's what comes up first. So, Chaos has had news sign of catastrophe is actually coming to the US and in Europe for PS4. It's a sequel to Chaos. No, it's Chaos Code. Chaos Head are different. Great start. Great. It's Chaos Code.
Video games.
But yeah, that's coming out later. They didn't say when, but it's coming out. So I mean, meh.
When it's out, it's out.
And for the big news, Persona 5 was delayed until April 5th.
What is happening?
I don't know. I think they're having quality assurance issues. Or it's production for the special editions. I'm not quite sure. But we are getting dual audio as DLC.
Yay! That's imagine if that's what the delay is for. Is exclusively for dual audio.
I mean, there are licensing issues, and I understand that, but
hmm
2 or 3 months, really? I feel like that they just want more time to perfect the special editions.
The same thing also goes that it has to be some sort of difficulty with media because they
Yeah.
both use Blu-ray format discs, but doing dual audio requires a decent amount of programming.
Well, I mean, like, NIS America has done it before. Namco Bandai is actually starting to do it, and Atlas, I want to say, is last to it. So
They usually don't.
yeah, because
Um,
their
they've only
local.
recently started,
Yeah,
actually.
I think it's because at this point, like, um, even though NIS America has set a precedent to it, I think they're just starting to realize now that there's no excuse for them not to do it. They have the means to do it. It's not like back in the 90s where it was like, well, how could they do it? But it's 2016 now, so like, do whatever we want.
Yeah, I think how the plan goes now is that they didn't have it planned for dual audio, so now that having to
Well,
they're having to
it's been
implement
an
dual audio, they have to
well, it's been animate request from fans since like it was announced.
right.
So they knew about it. I think there was just like the whole legality ish like part.
Yeah,
The other thing is like there was some mix up when Atlas was sold from Index to Sega. So
yeah. I think my biggest concern with dual audio in general is that it's only gonna fuel the subs versus dubs debates I hear constantly all the time.
my one issue with having dual audio is that like why is the Japanese dub much quieter than the English dub? I want to know that because like it's so much difference in volume and it's like why?
I don't know. I think the same thing applies to Sonic Adventure 2. Is that the audio balance was that the voice acting was quiet there too. And they just never bothered rebalancing it for the English release when they did the dubbing.
That's weird.
Yeah, what's even weirder is that they didn't even like recode the game to modify timings.
How
So like everything is still in the Japanese timing for dialogue, but it's all done with English. So characters talk over each other a lot.
I'm not sure how lazy Sega's programmers are. Like, I don't understand how their quality assurance gets through.
Well, we'll see with Sonic Mania and Sonic Totally Not Generations too.
Yeah. And you know what else is going on? People are already discounting the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
You're
Eh.
not surprised.
No, well, no. No, like I can guarantee you that. I think everybody in Blaze Kick right now doesn't have an HDR capable TV, and I think Armando might have a 4K capable TV, but that's a guess. I'm not sure. So like none of us have a use for a PlayStation 4 Pro. A couple of us have a use for a Slim, but most of us just want to stick with our PS4s.
Well, I mean, like, Armando hasn't really been on Twitter that much. So I don't know.
Right. I mean, it's also worth noting that this was an odd time to kind of add another character, to add another thing to the family of PlayStation 4. We've already explained this, that the PlayStation 4 Pro right now is a pretty poor move because you've already gotten most of your install base done, because it's like running through the 4-year term of a console in this generation. So basically, you're just trying to nab the smallest amount of installs for people who are waiting.
And I mean, the PS4 Pro did sell about 60,000 units in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But it already sold like millions worldwide, so I mean.
Yeah, it's basically pocket change at this point.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying thing too, because I think I saw like yesterday that Watch Dogs 2 only sold like 20% of what Watch Dogs 1 sold
That's really
in its
sad,
launch month.
actually.
Yeah, it's sad because Watch Dogs 2 is better than Watch Dogs 1.
That's even worse. Like,
Yeah. What the hell can you do?
how?
Just really poor launch times. The same thing happened to Titanfall 2 in comparison to Titanfall 1. About the same sales differences, but Titanfall 2 just released at a really bad time. EA was just like, you know what? Let's put this sequel to a franchise that only kicked off in 2013 with this franchise that we've been establishing for the past 8 years and has had an established community since like 2004. I'm talking, of course, with the fact that Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 released at a relatively close window, and Battlefield 1 kind of torpedoed it out of the water, which is a shame because I've heard that Titanfall 2's single-player campaign is really good. But it's already being sold at $30.
I don't know. Like, 2016 is like a bad year for video games. Like, I don't know why.
Well, you say that, but I say that it's been a really good year with just a lot of really bad bumps. Because I think,
Every game I want has been delayed to next year, so.
well, then 2017 is going to be a really good year for you. 2016 to
I
me,
don't
though,
know.
has been pretty lovely.
2016 has been a pretty shitty year in terms of everything. And the only thing that can make it worse is for my grandmother to actually pass away. So.
Don't say that. You still got 5 weeks. Still got 5 weeks. Anything can happen in the worst year.
I know. That's what makes it all the more worse. So
Editing Kuro, put the gif of John Oliver blowing up a 2016 mural. Do that. Fuck this year. Fuck 2016. Except for the parts where we had a Doom game that was really fucking good. Hitman 2016 was pretty good as well, if you don't count the DRM. Uh, Overwatch, Battleborn.
And I totally forgot to put this down in my notes, but Overwatch is on sale until the 28th of this month for $35.99 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go buy it.
Yeah, go buy it.
I will buy it once my credit card bill is paid.
Yay. Priorities.
I'm adulting properly.
How do you adult?
You pay your bills on time and you make sure to fix your car when you should.
Damn it.
Which, at this point, doing a bunch of car maintenance at the same time is like burning a paycheck or two. It's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling quite well, actually. The fact of the matter being is that there are a lot of really good games on sale that I would recommend to a lot of people. Hitman is on sale for half off on Steam, the 2016 game, which I would recommend because for $30 you get the entire first season, which is the 6 episodes that released this year, and the bonus packs, which is just I've spent a lot of time on a game that only has 6 levels in it. Like I think I spent maybe 70 hours in the first episodes. It's kind of absurd. The amount of variety in a sandbox game like that is just makes it like one of the best puzzle games I've played this year. That said, the only puzzle game I've really played this year outside of it was Pokemon Shuffle, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah, Pokemon Shuffle is a puzzle game, but I actually think the original one is better than the new one.
You mean
Whatever
Troze?
played. Oh yeah, Trotse. That was good. Pokemon Puzzle is like the one they released this year that was a sequel to Trotse was garbage.
Yeah. I like Pokemon Picross, but apparently it took people like over a year to be able to get through the entire game without spending a single cent on it, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
I'm just like, I'm waiting to get the 3DS console in my Animal Crossing game to
Mm-hmm.
then play Animal Crossing Puzzle, which is like Pokemon Puzzle on the Nintendo 64. If you had that.
Yeah. Puzzle-y, yay.
Well, like it's a weird sort of puzzle game where if you look at videos, it's like you have to sort of match at least 3 tiles with the same property, but you have to swap them horizontally,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very strange.
Yeah. I
And
just
then
want us to
there's
get
like if
another.
it's just like a single bar, like then there's the like 3D cylinder, which gets even weirder. I've
Yeah.
seen my friends play it, and I'm just like, how?
Yeah. The one thing I want at some point in the future is for whoever develops the Puyo Pop games, I want them to bring over the Puyo Pop Tetris crossover that released like last year or something. Because we never got it here, but thankfully, because of the fact that both the Xbox One and PS4 are region free, you can just import a copy and play it. But I mean, it's one of those things where we do need more puzzle games just as much as we need more snowboarding games in our lives.
We could also use more Taiko games.
Yeah. There was one that came out on the Wii U
I know.
that was Japan only. Yeah. Just stop making things Japan only. You never know if there is a very distinct market for people who want Japanese games like that.
You mean us weebs?
Yeah. Look, I don't consider anyone a weeb until they've told me they've 100%ed Chulip. Once you tell me that you 100%ed Chulip, then I know you're a fucking weeb. Chulip is one of the weirdest games I think on the PlayStation 2. And I've actually played it, so
haven't played a game like that, so
there is no game like it. It's Chulip is Chulip. What other game could be like, yeah, in the first 20 minutes of the game, you get slapped by someone you dreamed about in front of a tree with a face, and then you went to a guy that was only a head and feet who kicked a table, and then he kissed an onion and went to space for a while. It's like, what? How the? You got to be on some kind of fucked
Someone
up.
approved that and funded that.
Somebody at Natsume was just like, oh yeah, we'll localize that. They took 4 years to do it. They spent 4 years localizing it. The game came out in 2002. That was like fucking early PlayStation 2, and it came out in 2006 for us in the US. That was like one of the last games we got on the PlayStation 2 before we ushered in the PlayStation 3. Think about that.
That's weird. The fuck?
Yeah. By the way, watch the Stephen Plays LP of that, because it gets
It's
things
weird.
get weird. Yeah. You want to watch a guy called Apollo who is just a dude with a rocket strapped to his back? Sure, why not? Or what else is a really good one? There are some really absurd characters in Chuulip, and I'm trying to remember some of them. There's like one character that is a trash can
What?
called the Mr. Retired Bucket.
What? This is weird.
Yeah. Chuulip is bizarre. It's just the right amount of Japanese.
Alright then, well, if you guys like Japanese games, Digimon Next Order... Yes, Next Order will be coming to North America on January 31st of next year.
Yay. That's how you know it. That's how you know that the Cyber Sleuth game was really good, is when they were just like, you know what? Let's try that again.
Let's make another Digimon game and we'll localize it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Digimon has started to gain some traction again because of the anniversary movies.
Yeah. I think it's also the fact that Digimon's kind of the console game now, because they don't make Pokemon console games anymore. Like the only Pokemon console game we've gotten in the past decade has been Pokemon Tournament. Sorry.
Yeah, Pokemon
Not
Tournament.
counting the Pokemon Rumble games.
The other one was like, because the last one before it was on Wii was like Pokemon Revolution.
Pokemon Battle Revolution. Yep.
Yeah, and that was like what we got after Pokemon XD Gala Darkness. Because like Pokemon Coliseum was great.
Mm-hmm.
But then XD Gala Darkness just flopped. And I've talked to my significant other about this, and he says like basically what they tried to do is they tried to make what was the console version back to the portable games, but they didn't understand that what made Pokemon Coliseum so great was the fact that the protagonist was actually older.
Yeah.
And that it was actually much more serious and dark in tone.
Yeah. Because I remember, I don't remember Pokemon XD going to quite the extreme that I saw in Coliseum. I remember you being able to go into a fortune teller's house, and there was a guy just sitting there like he had just got his fortune told, and he's just like, yeah, she's really good at telling fortunes. She told me all about my wife, and I don't know a whole lot about her since she left me. And then he starts crying. I'm just like, Mike, what?
What? Fuck? That's horrible.
I know. It's wonderful. It's wonderfully horrible. I mean, the thing about Pokemon Battle Revolution as well is that it wasn't even a bad game. I think it was actually a wonderful Pokemon Stadium follow-up, because it had like all the stuff that you expected from Stadium, but it allowed you to do all your moves and everything on a DS. It's like it had the same transference to it, but it just I'm sad. I'm sad that we don't get another one of those in this generation.
I mean, like, they're gonna put Pokemon Sun and Moon on, like, the Switch, but, like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. If I was going to be completely honest, I want the core experience of Pokemon to stay on portables, like the 3DS. I'm fine with it being on the Switch because it is supposed to be a portable form factor console. But at the same time, I want the Switch to be like, I want the Switch to be some kind of way to allow people to play these battles out on a large screen with as much detail as possible.
I want Pokemon Coliseum again.
Yeah.
That's all I fucking want.
I think I know a lot of people who want Pokemon Coliseum again. It's I don't blame them, honestly, because Pokemon Coliseum was kind of a game changer for console Pokemon games.
It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that whole Rimoroid Shadow Pokemon was like fucking bullshit.
Yep.
Let's make it level 20. Impossible to catch. Restart until you catch it. Like, at least with
Hard
like
to catch the Shadow Entei.
But at least like with XD Darkness, you could go back later and actually like get the Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it was just like it was an interesting way to bridge the gap between like Johto Pokemon, and Hoenn Pokemon until like they got, I guess, the next generation going.
Yeah, that's really just how it is.
And it
So
was good.
yeah, the new Digimon game.
I'm going to start talking about Pokemon.
Whoops.
Well, I mean, like a lot of people, kind of denounce Pokemon as bullshit because like Digimon, you actually like, you know, you're friends with your animal versus where like Pokemon, they're just kind of your battle slaves.
I disagree.
This is just what I've heard on the internet. So I mean, like, I like both. Granted, I'm not playing Sun and Moon, so
I have my reasons to think that's bullshit.
Mystery Dungeon isn't counted as like the canon game though.
I don't care. Pokemon are my friends.
Alright, well, for a totally different game, Dynasty Warriors God Seekers is coming to the West? Yes.
Yay. I really don't know what Godseekers is.
I don't know either, but it's Dynasty Warriors. I mean, if you like it, it's there.
I enjoy the fact that Dynasty Warriors is the hack and slash game everybody wants.
I need to play more of Hyrule Warriors, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, if you like Hyrule Warriors, you'll probably enjoy some of the Dynasty Warriors spin-offs.
I mean, I already like One Piece Pirate Warriors too, so I mean, I have that on like PS3.
Yeah. There's also the Gundam ones, the Gundam Dynasty Warriors games.
Wait, there's Gundam?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there are a few of them actually. There's also one for Senran Kagura. That's Estival Versus.
I think I heard of that one, but I don't quite remember.
Well, as someone who is very specific about the anime he watches, I don't think I'm gonna watch Senran Kagura.
I'm gonna leave my anime talk for the Blaze Kick podcast if it's going on.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Especially since we're celebrating our 3rd anniversary today.
I noticed all the tweets and I've just been like, I have too much shit to do to talk right now.
Yeah. Also, you're like our newest member. So I think you've been around for 6 months at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's a lot more meaningful to us because we've been doing journalism like this for about 4 years. Like, we all met right around when a lot of us graduated high school. So it's like the big deal about this website.
I met Armando on Twitter just as I was graduating high school. With the Pikachu 3DS XL.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of interesting. A couple of people that became crew at some point were actually people that we just met at random on the Blaze Kick, just from like responses on our stuff. Um, I think I think that's how Armando and Mike went on to come up with podcast Scorpio.
Yeah, cause like I mentioned, like I was like, well, I'll do a podcast, PlayStation podcast, and like Ronda's like, cool, okay, go do it.
Yeah,
I was like, all right.
yeah. And
So
the thing about podcasting is that it allows you to make the content you want to discuss. Uh, Even though I feel like you would be pretty good at writing.
I am pretty good at writing. It's just that like I'm already doing a bunch of writing at school. Like I have a portfolio due the week after Thanksgiving, and then another portfolio due the week after that.
Yeah,
So, and I already write for Society 19. I started that in August. Um, they've been changing things though, so it's been kind of weird. But I've been writing like an article for them
and it's worth noting
once
that
a
you're
month.
only like halfway through your first set of schooling. I think
Well, I'm not quite done with
you're going for
undergrad.
graduate. Yeah, you're going for undergrad, and then you're going to go to
I'm gonna get a certificate, but I'll be considered a graduate student at that point.
right. Regardless, you're only like halfway through, and
I'm more than halfway through. I'm like three
right.
fourths of the way through.
Yeah, yeah, because this is like your third year now.
It's actually my fourth. I did a junior transfer. Like I didn't do a whole lot my first year. Like I just kind of was trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to do for my major because like when you transfer to community college, not only do you have to get all your GEs done, but they also take precedence of what major classes did you do, like your lower divisions, as part of your transfer, and then they consider your GPA and other things. But they see how many classes have you finished. And when I transferred out of Santa Monica, I technically had done like 80 units, but only 64 transferred over. So, and I have to complete the other 64 here at USC.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't want to declare a minor, I could have finished fall of 2017, if not maybe May 2018. But I want to do computer science minor. So that's like 30 units right there. And I can't knock that out in a semester. A lot of minors you
Right.
can, but not computer science. It's like an extra year essentially. So I mean, I don't mind necessarily taking 5 years to finish college. Everyone goes at their own pace. Like some people I know have finished in 4 years. It's because they already knew what they were gonna do in high school. I was still like, I don't know. I like writing. I don't know if I want to do it though.
My goal as a graduate in high school was be a game designer, make games. And like within 2 years of doing writing for the website for BlazeKick and for Flood Games when that was active, um, eventually my scope just went to write about video games, like make video gaming a core part of your career. I think it comes from just the fact that it's really hard to make a video game,
It is.
but to me it's incredibly easy and fun to discuss and um, make some sort of history about like your life with video games.
Basically art.
There is, yeah, there's like I have like a 20-year history of video games that I boil into every single review I try to make. And I think that telling a story about this kind of stuff is very important. Being able to tell a story about what you have experienced as a gamer, or even as a non-gamer who's playing video games for the first time, is an incredibly important part of the medium. Because you hear people talking all the time about how music or movies or TV shows brought them through tough times or something, but video games are such a powerful medium that allows for an unprecedented amount of immersion, something to take people away from their worst times and allow them to get over various things. It's a coping mechanism. It's so many things that you can list, but it boils down to who you are and what you used video games for. And the entire point of the website was to convince people that it's okay to tell stories about your history with video games. And that's what I try to convey in every single review I make, every editorial I write, is that stories are important. And no matter what kind of story it is, happy, sad, infuriating, funny, silly, or incomprehensible, stories matter.
And I do agree with that. I noticed there are some people who have complained to me about the whole process of the industry where like gameplay gets a major emphasis, graphic gets a major emphasis, but what about the story? And I
Right.
feel like you have to strike a balance between story and between gameplay, because you can have a wonderful story, but if your gameplay is so shitty no one wants to keep playing it, then you've lost your audience. There's only so many people who are willing to sort of put themselves through that sadistic sort of gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to find that because you have to sort of find your balance between everything else. And at the end of the day, even if you're designing or you're writing, you still need to understand like how programming works to a certain extent. Because if you don't know how programming works, you try to hand a script to someone, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we can't program that because that's not possible." Like, you're gonna run into issues, and pre-production is a pretty big deal because that determines a lot of how the work schedule is going to be. Who are you going to hire? How much you're going to pay? And it involves the budget. And then how do you pitch this idea? Are you a third party? Are you a first party? You still have to pitch this idea, promise you will do this amount of work, it will cost this much, and make your promise through. Like, it's a big deal. So
Yeah. There are video games out there as well that put gameplay as a backseat and focus entirely on the story, and it succeed greatly. Games like Journey and Flower are two very esoteric, vague storytelling games that have a very simple gameplay design to it. They tell you what your goal is, and you do it, and they just let the game tell its own story. Journey in particular is the game that a lot of people cling to a lot because it had a very intricate, deeply ingrained gameplay to it, where you would randomly connect with a different player and you could progress with them, or you could leave them, or they can leave you. And that's the kind of thing that tells stories.
cat.
See, my cat agrees. But
But yes, like Flower and Journey are very much critically acclaimed games for storytelling.
mhm,
They're also done by that game company, which was founded by USC game graduates.
right,
So
they started with
go
Flow.
USC.
Yeah, they started with Flow. There are other games that have there are other games that have been influenced by Journey and Flower and Flow.
Wasn't the
Recently
newest
released
one?
Abzu.
Yes, Abzu is definitely influenced by it. I almost thought it was the same game company. I had to look it up. It's not, but it
Mm-hmm.
looks very similar.
There was one called Bound, I think it was called. Yeah, Bound, which was a puzzle platformer style kind of game with a very similar direction in terms of it. And then you have the other games that are walking simulators, like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture,
Oh god, I saw a tweet about that
Dear
before.
Esther. Games like that are nice. Like, as long as they can tell a convincing story, that's a good way to introduce people to storytelling elements. There are other better ways too, as well, like the Stanley Parable, which is a joke entirely, a parody, a satire. That's it. It's a satire entirely on the walking simulator narrative. Um, then you have the games that give you a little more influence than that. I recently started playing Metro 2033, which is based on a book. It's based on a book series. The same goes for its sequel, Metro Last Light. Very story in very heavy story based first person shooter stealth game. Based in like post apocalyptic Russia, and it's very sci-fi macabre horror kind of thing where sometimes the worst enemy is like other people, but it tells a story very intricately. Like, it doesn't mind giving you really odd turns if that means that you as a character can advance. It's just a very peculiar game, I think. It is on sale on Xbox Live for $6 if you want to get both that and Metro 2033 together, or Metro Last Light, I mean, together. I'd say it's worth a look. Just bear in mind that Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light are very specific, pseudo-realistic kinds of games. Like, if you're in a narrated area, you need to have a mask on, otherwise you suffocate, and you need to like watch your clock every few minutes to make sure that you know when to swap out your air filter.
Oh, okay, now I understand what you're talking about.
But it's really cool. It's got really good narrative to it.
You know what else is probably gonna have good narrative? Final Fantasy 15.
When it comes out.
And guess what? It'll get a day one update too. Is anyone surprised? Not really.
At this point, a day one update just means that there's something to fix. The only reason that day one updates are suspicious nowadays is because of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 debacle. Which, if you don't know what the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 debacle is, the disc, the physical copy of the disc, is just a tutorial. The day one patch is the rest of the game.
Why would you even do that?
Because Activision was running out of time to capitalize on their Tony Hawk's Pro Skater license. So in order to get the physical copies out on time, they just had to release the game in gold as just a tutorial on physical discs and then release the update later. Because the game released the same day that their license ended.
The fuck?
Yeah, they kind of
fuck that up.
Well, I mean, they did kind of sit on the franchise for 7 years without doing anything with it, so what can you do?
Activision.
Yeah.
You stupid.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, they also gave it to the people who made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, which is unanimously known as one of the worst Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games of all time, because it's a terrible remake with very bad trick accuracy. In like landing accuracy and everything. Like, everything about it is just aggravatingly bad for the player. And they got tasked with making the new one. That went okay, I guess.
Alright then. Well, you know what else is coming out soon on the PS4? Danganronpa, another episode. Despair Girls!
Yay.
So happy!
Yeah. Nippon Ichi Software America released from Monday to Friday the release dates for like 5 different games.
Yeah, my sister has been like pre-ordering a bunch of the games, and I'm just waiting for like Danganronpa 3.
I want to play Birthdays. I forgot the game. Birthdays to Beginning. Yeah, that's it. Birthdays to Beginnings. That looks like a really interesting game because it's from the director of Harvest Moon. Yes. I believe. So that's why I want to give it a shot. It looks cool.
Well, Danganronpa Another Episode was originally made for PS Vita because Spectrum Soft's like, well, we don't know what to do with Danganronpa next, so we're just gonna make this. And then after that, they did what they were gonna do for 3, which became an anime, and then V3 is the game.
Yeah.
So, I think the creator was like, why won't people buy a Vita? And it's because there's not many. Like, there's great games for it, but not enough for people to really,
Like
put
at
money
this
towards
point,
it.
at
So
this point, the only reason I want a Vita is to not have to use my laptop to play Final Fantasy 14 anymore.
I mean, like, the the replay is okay on PS Vita from PS4. It's just like it can lag if it's going too hard. So the PS Vita is slightly stronger than the PS3, but it's not quite the PS4.
Yeah, and I mean, I like my RPG box, my PlayStation TV. I have like half of the Final Fantasy franchise on there. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 9, 10 and 10, 2. I have some Parasite Eve on there, a bit of Resident Evil 2 and 3, some Persona 4 Golden, a bit of Disgaea 4, Wild Arms, Chrono Cross. Help me.
Well, because like people wanted to get into Danganronpa, but the games are better than the anime. So I told my sisters like, you should, get 1 and 2 and Despair Girls, and she's like, I don't want to spend money on a Vita. So the minute it goes to PS4, she pre-ordered all of them, and I was like, motherfuckers. Ah! So to get more sales, they just poured them to the PS4, and now
It's a good move. It's a good business move.
I know, but it's like
The only way that they'll fix this is with cross-buy.
well, that's
But you probably got the physical copies, so whatever.
But if you like, the thing about cross-buy is that like in order to get the PS Vita version, you have to buy the PS4 version.
There are a lot of cross-buy games that work either way. Especially if you're going with like PS1 classics. But even then, there are some PS3 games with cross-buy that is just like if you get the PS3 version, you get the Vita version. Or if you get the Vita version, you get the PS4 version. Or vice versa. So, I mean, it works either way. I'd say that it's fair. I'm just really glad I got 2 copies of Axiom Verge.
I haven't bought that game yet.
It's so fun. I know Noah's been having a difficult time with Axiom Verge and went to
like,
Metroid Prime anyways.
Well, I mean, like, Metroid is about exploring everything until you sort of find it. And you have to have patience with playing like games like Axiom Verge because with the way Metroid is set up.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem like Noah has much patience at the moment.
Yeah.
Reading his Twitter feed.
I mean, the thing about Axiom Verge is that it requires a little more patience than Metroid did because they give you so many versatility items, like a sentry drone, and then like the ability to glitch through walls, the ability to glitch enemies and items in order to create platforms.
Like Axiom Verge, who was a big Metroid fan.
Yeah, there's an absurd amount of versatility in the game that just requires a lot of patience to learn and like memory to know where to go next. I'm at that point in the game where I have all the resources I need to advance and stuff, but I just don't know where to go next. And that's where I currently stand. So, I really like Metroid Prime and everything, and I'm really glad that it has a hint system because I would be lost forever without it. But I think Axiom Verge just nails the Metroid progression on the head in terms of like what you need to do here and there.
Where Nintendo failed to do for their games.
Yeah. And in related news, AM2R and Pokemon Uranium were nominated for Best Fan Game at the Game Awards this year, and Nintendo took them down.
Yeah, I don't understand what Nintendo is doing. To be perfectly honest, like
I don't know anything either.
because like it's clear Nintendo has dedicated fans, and these people obviously did some great programming and some great work. So instead of just taking the games necessarily down, why don't you just hire those programmers? Like, I
I
don't
don't know.
understand it. It's like you could do something great with this, but instead you're just like, nah, I just want to fuck shit up. It's like,
Yeah,
why? You don't have to. Nintendo, come on.
there's a person who made Zelda Maker, like a Zelda version of Mario Maker for like A Link to the Past, I think, or something.
I need this.
Yeah, but Nintendo was just like, okay, you need to stop that. And so they stopped making Zelda Maker and they just made a Zelda-like Maker that let you make your own fantasy top-down, totally not Zelda game.
I like
That's just where we are.
I think Matt Pat actually did an episode about like fan games, and it was very interesting because it was actually video game bloggers and vloggers and YouTubers that sort of made a difference in how legality is done with video games. So like there's things that obviously you wouldn't be able to make them necessarily different because of the style they are. But because of that, like if you say they're a clone, even if they're really not, that game could be taken down. So what does that mean for people who are in the indie scene and or making fan games? And
Uh,
it doesn't necessarily mean good things. And
It,
there's a fine line between like copying someone, but I feel like in this cases these are games like they're fan games. People wanted them, people liked them, people put time into them. So why ruin it?
I couldn't even possibly tell you. The one thing that's terrifying to me is that there's eventually going to be a point where we have to decide what is parody and what is um, um like homage. Like, can you imagine if this kind of stuff escalates to the point where they won't even allow referential material in other people's games?
That's a problem because like a lot of people when they start doing art, we copy people. But when we find our own style, we make it to our own, but what do you tell people who are just starting? Like it's not like those people made money off those games. So
Hmm.
like
I couldn't even begin to explain uh, how sad I would be if a lot of my work was taken down because I do a lot of sketches for Pokemon poorly, except for Gardevoir for some reason. But it's just I couldn't even imagine if all my work got taken down like that. And it's got to be even worse for artists who make a living off this kind of stuff.
I for fan art, not so much actually. They are not taken down.
Yeah.
But then fan games are, so it's like, well, what's the difference between a fan game and fan art? See,
Mm.
that's the weird line, is that fan art is okay, fan based clothing is okay, but not fan games. So I'm not sure, like, because I'm not in law, I'm not going for law, but I would want to talk to someone who's in law or a law student, ask them like, well, why is this okay, but then this is not okay? And like, is there really a difference between these two? Because they're fan made, if they don't make money, shouldn't they be allowed?
What's fair use?
Oh my god, fair use is so vague. Stupid.
Fair use laws. You can totally do this stuff except when you can't.
Like, you
Thank
can use
you?
it to prove a point, but once your point is done, you can't do it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched a documentary about copyright use and how copyright has Disney fucked over completely. So, it's no longer really right. It's just these corporations are making it useful to them, but if you're a small person, you don't really matter.
Yeah. You're just another statistic. Hey guys, look, made an educational video about video games, and I had some referential material from games in here. Oh, your video is going to get taken down for reasons. It's like, okay, whatever. Fuck you. I'm I'm not putting your game footage in these videos anymore. Then.
Even though it's like it could be on your resume, like this is what I made. This part of my portfolio. It's like, yeah, it like violates copyright infringement. We can't take you. And be like, the fuck, like
I would just walk out. I'm like, okay, fucking whatever. Shut up.
cat. Cat wants to kill mice.
Stop it. Come here. Yeah, I knew it. You just want to go outside. You don't love me. I feed you. I let you go outside and catch mice. What do? You eat the fucking food. You take a shit. You go to sleep. That's all you do. You don't let me pet you. You have arthritis. Fuck you.
At least you have a cat. I don't have a cat anymore.
I have 2 cats. One's a schizo.
Yeah, my cat's also kind of schizophrenic.
So, news.
We're done with news.
Oh, no. What a
Yeah.
weird way to end our news section.
Like, it's Thanksgiving week. We're all tired. And we all need to go in that turkey coma.
Yeah.
I still have cleaning to do. I have to go to taiko practice. I have a lot of shit to do tonight. Will I sleep? Well, I need to sleep so I can drive for 6 hours.
All I want to do is play more Hitman.
I
And
want to
probably
play
Final Fantasy.
Overwatch, but I have responsibilities.
Damn you, responsibilities as an adult.
Finals will end December 10th, but it's so far away.
I'm just a 22-year-old child that considers this a job. It's weird. By the way, thanks to all of our patrons for supporting us this past year. It's been very lovely. Like even the fact that we've gotten supporters that all through Patreon is just a wonderful thing. We have some news regarding the Patreon coming in the next couple months, so get ready for that.
You mean next month, really?
Yeah, next month. I'd say towards the end of the year, probably. I'd say so.
And then I know we're gonna stop doing this weekly in December because everything else is gonna slow down.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to twice
bi-weekly.
a month. Twice a month, yeah.
Not twice a month, it's bi-weekly. A month is technically 5 weeks, so it's not always twice a month. It depends
you say that it's not twice a month, it's bi-weekly, but there are 2 terms for bi-weekly. There are 2 definitions for bi-weekly. Once every 2 weeks or twice a week. So I just say twice a month.
Alright, fine. It's not going to come out every week because news will slow down and
Yeah.
I'll be going back to like 18 units again.
Yeah. Whatever finals, papers, dues, thesis, stuff,
I have a research
college.
paper due next week.
Yeah. You're at the end of your like midterms.
No, I already finished midterms. I'm almost at finals.
Yep. Yeah, almost there. Keep breathing. Keep breathing.
I need my bottle of rum.
I have a bottle of rum.
I don't.
We'll take a shot. We'll take a shot together at the end of the year.
What are we gonna do? Have a Blaze Cake New Year's podcast?
Probably. Get Armando on the line.
When he's like not dying from work and school.
He's the only other one I can think of that's allowed to drink. I think maybe Connor. I'm not too sure. But
Connor, I think, is allowed to, but Noah's our like little minor.
Yeah.
And
he gets to drink Pepsi at the party.
No, like when we were talking about election stuff on Twitter, he was like, "I can't go drink alcohol," and I was like, "Well, that's why you make friends with the stoners."
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I just heard the rejoice of that one state who got marijuana legalized, not counting California. Congratulations, California.
Legalized, but like,
yeah,
recreation wasn't legalized previously.
Yeah,
they put it in one of those small elections that no one ever pays attention to last time.
Yeah.
But now they made it because they made it on the bigger ballot. People just went and did it regardless of what the prop actually said. Not
Yeah.
really surprised. But like people just can easily get a medical card here, so it's like it's not like people give a shit. It's not
Yeah.
that big of a deal unless you're getting federal aid.
I think the
And
way it works here is, do you intend on, like, the questionnaire we get is, do you intend on selling this? Do you intend on selling this illegally? No. Okay, here's your card.
I mean, like it can get into the black market because it's not as heavily taxed as recreational.
Yeah.
But I think there's gonna be a lot of people are gonna try to grow it, and here's some bad news. It's not that easy to grow it. So
Yeah.
have fun wasting your time growing shitty weed.
Yeah. It's gonna take a few years to get the batch just right.
Well, because like people are like, oh, growing it's not the hard part. It's cultivating and cutting it. And I'm like, that's part of growing it.
Yeah, as a person who understands botany, growing and tending to your crop is growing. Like, taking care of your crop is growing.
This
The
was
entire
some
process
stupid
until
white
the end
ass boy
product.
in my fucking fiction class. Okay, they don't know shit.
Well, this took a weird turn.
Like he's one of those like guys who like has lived like a privileged life, and he's like, he like the only reason why he gets away with anything in his fucking class is because he writes beautiful prose. But prose only goes so far unless it moves the fucking story. Otherwise, it's just there to be pretty, and no one gives a shit about that.
I'm just not good at making prose. I just write story.
Well, prose is a big part of a story, but like if it's 10 pages of prose and it doesn't move the story, it's nothing. Like it's shit. Like why would you? That doesn't do anything.
That's War and Peace. 10
That's
pages of prose.
like that's for poetry.
Yeah.
For the most, like if you're just gonna do just prose, that's what poetry is for. But you're in a fiction class.
The thing I try to do is put in like a paragraph of expositional prose in my reviews in order to like offer a sense of wonder. Instead of it being like a very to the point review, I try to make it so it's more like an elegant exploration into what I experienced. I started doing it with the No Man's Sky review. I think actually, I described in detail the inner workings of a starship, like how the screens flicker and glow like a LCD screen would, and how I explored a really radioactive planet where the water was even worse than the air. And I looked up and there were 3 planets in the sky. Like, that's really hard to explain in detail. So it's just like, okay, I'll tell a very short story in the opening paragraph of this, and then I'll
Yes,
go
make
right
it
into the game.
short.
Yeah. I think it was like the first 100 words of the review. So it's that kind of stuff that's very important to journalism, is to tell a story, like I said before. So that's advice I'd give to anyone who wants to be a journalist, is to start with stuff that you think would make a good story. And even if it isn't a story, turn it into one.
And fact check your shit before the new president says anything.
Yep. Don't worry. Whatever our president-elect says and tries to remove from the internet not only breaks the act.
It breaks law.
Yeah,
His
not only
business
does it
law.
break the act, but it's also going to be in the internet archives forever.
Like he has already essentially broken a few laws before he's even inaugurated. It's amazing. Like, have you seen photos of him where he's like, what did I sign up to do? Because he really fucked up if he didn't really think he was gonna win.
Yeah. I think the one thing that amazes me the most is not even a week after the election was over, not even 2 days, a petition went up to abolish the Electoral College.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing about that: you can't change the system if you don't understand how the system works in the fucking first place.
Yeah.
So the Electoral College is flawed, but there's changing the Electoral College, not abolishing it.
Yeah.
So people are being stupid.
Politics. Our entire conversational line in the past 20 minutes of this podcast is making it incredibly difficult for me to decide on what topic and thumbnail to use for this video. podcast.
Well,
Fuck it. Here's that picture of the 3 planets from No Man's Sky, except the middle biggest planet is like the detail of Donald Trump's face on it instead of like a planet. It's just a face. No, that's actually going to be the bunch of that. I should make that for the Nintendo Unleashed podcast. Is instead of the moon from Majora's Mask, it's just Donald Trump's face on the moon.
that's fucking great.
Armando, DM me. I need to know this shit if you want it or not.
I don't know if he's even listening to the podcast anymore.
Hold on.
Tweet him. This podcast is taking a very interesting turn considering I'm rather sleep deprived. It's like I only slept for 4 hours and then I drank coffee. I was like,
All right,
okay.
there's the message.
Okay.
Sending it. Armando, you better fucking respond. Fucking like, comment, and subscribe if you want it to happen.
But yeah, that wraps it up for the podcast. So you guys know we have a Patreon, patreon.com/blazekick. $1 a month gets you this podcast a day early than the public. The same goes for other podcasts, and we get a Blaze Kick podcast, which is where we talk about things other than video games. Like, I want to talk about Yuri on Ice because holy shit, so good. But yeah,
I want to talk a little bit about Flip Flappers if that ever comes to be a podcast we do.
We might as well make an anime podcast. I'm just saying. Wink, wink.
Armando.
Okay.
Most importantly, you have priorities. Before you consider the anime podcast, we need to consider the Donald Trump Majora's Mask moon.
So we also have a website where we post this and other like articles, and that's at blazekick.com. By visiting this website, you help us get into press events like E3, and we really do appreciate it. And we also appreciate our patrons on Patreon. Thank you for your support.
Mm-hmm.
And we also post this on youtube.com/user/blazekickmedia. And we've been uploading Thursday to Friday for PlayStation Point. And then we upload other times for other work. Also whole original content like Flashfire, maybe some new series. We're still working on it. Mm-hmm. I had a series going, but it's kind of on pause in pre-production because school just decided to throw a bunch of shit on me and expect me to do it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's our YouTube. We do, well, okay, because of the whole website change, we do not have our podcast on iTunes and Google Play at the moment, but we will fix that as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that will be. Go plug Armando on Twitter.
Yeah.
Plug his Twitter name.
Yep. Also, be sure to follow the Twitch page. It's twitch.tv/BlazeKickLive. The channel is set to host all of our own personal channels, so whenever we start streaming, it'll be hosted on BlazeKick Live. And we are also going to be doing special events and conference streams whenever we deem it necessary on that channel.
As soon as I get Overwatch and play during winter break, I probably will stream that every day.
Yeah. That's what it was.
OBS though.
Yeah, that's what it was like when I first got Overwatch, is that I streamed it a lot. I think the last time I streamed Overwatch was Lucio Ball.
Well, I'll be getting it on PC.
I have it on PC. Yep. It's a good time on PC.
Oh yes, with Sombra.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our Twitter at BlazeKickTweet. My personal Twitter handle is at demon_sorceress. What is yours, Tyler?
At ReplayTieHeretic.
Plug in Armando so people can bug him.
At ArmsMXZ.
Yes, go bug him about the website and when it'll be on iTunes and Google Play.
Also, bug him about the Donald Trump Majora's Mask moon for Nintendo Unleashed episode 94.
Which they should be recording soon?
Probably tomorrow, I think, actually.
Okay.
As of this recording. As of recording this episode tomorrow.
As of this recording on Monday, they should be recording on Tuesday.
And have it up on Thursday or Friday. Or is it Wednesday?
Hopefully we will have... I want the audio up by Wednesday for this. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube tonight, but someone else will post it.
Right.
Because I won't be near my computer.
Yep. It's Thanksgiving, everyone. Send a Blazekick tweet. What do you think before? Fucking selling out, boys. I'm thankful for not having had to play a game that was really awful this year.
I don't have a whole lot to be thankful for because I'm really going home to a good thing. So, I mean, kind of moot for me.
Yeah. If anybody dares say the game that actually was awful this year that I played, you're banned forever. There was a game I really hated this year, but I don't want to remember it. Don't make me remember it, please.
Okay, and that's it for the PlayStation Point this week. Thank you for watching, and have a good time, guys. Bye!